Hello YouTube, this is Dakota from Bowtied Media, and while we may have looked at my Spotify Wrapped, it's time to look at yours and roast them. First things first, if your Wrapped does not show up here in this roasting list, be patient. We're gonna do a couple of these, so stand by to hear a lot more Wrapped. And two, also if it's not on any of these, it might just be because it's a good Wrapped, and it is not that easily roastable. So without any further ado, let's hop into it. Starting us off here, we're doing good. Top artist, number 5, Breakins, 4, Porter, 3, Quadeca, 2, Coldplay, number 1, Kanye, which, to be fair, I'm a fan of Kanye. I like his old stuff. I don't really listen to anything new Kanye, and I don't listen to stuff really that much anymore. But really, your number 1 artist in 2024, Kanye West, and he's not even in your top 5 songs, which means you're listening to a large majority of his playlist, I think, for the most part, unless it's just one song. But man, that's a tough one for me. Ches, Tyler, you've got Porter Robinson, Galantis, Valley, Fox Stevenson, Grant, and a bunch of baller top songs. I will say the one thing I've really noticed about you here is that our music taste is pretty similar. Also, you just listen to like only really high energy, happy songs for the most part. I guess Porter Robinson has some sad stuff in there, but with Easier to Love You. But like, it is just the most high octane, high energy EDM possible, I think, is you here. Tyler. So we got, even like Kitsune Maison, Cheerleader. Like, I'm shocked Kitsune Maison is your number 1 over Cheerleader, because I think that one's a pretty underrated track on the album. And so, this is, also Galantis number 2. It's not RX, right? It's not, that album was terrible. We're talking Pharmacy, right? Or at least the Aviary. Like, please don't be newest Galantis. Okay, what do we got here? Dea, Snail's House, Quartz Zone, Evan Call, Stessie. I think we're a weeb, right? Like that's what this is. This is like all the like anime EDM style music that has some heavier bends to it here and there. But this is like you've got a top like 10 favorite animes, I think, for sure. Oh, goodness. First things first, 166,000 minutes. That's crazy. Honestly, I compliment that because I wish I had that much time to listen to that much music. But man, also number 1, Great Milk is so fascinating. A new and like sort of up and coming artist, I think. Their sound is wild and all over the place, which makes me believe that your music listening habits and some other artists on here are just, it is out of left field. It is bizarre. You are like underground only. Anyone with like more than like 200,000 monthly listeners is like a no-go. This is like, you're like the hipster EDM enjoyer is pretty much what this is right here. Okay, only 9,000 minutes, but Subfocus, Faint, Boss Fight, Coven, Dimension. Maybe I'll give you props here. You know what you like. You didn't listen to a ton this year, at least on Spotify, but you know what you like. You got a certain sound and you're sticking to it. Maybe, just maybe, we can branch out a little more outside of just drum and bass. Okay, we got some Martin Garrix, Illenium, Tiesto, John Summit. This is like, I feel like your typical like white guy EDM. I just gotta say, that's nothing against you. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But like, this is just like, this is the most like vanilla, like commercial friendly, like I love radio EDM. Again, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. There's some fantastic songs from all these artists here. But this is just like I absolutely love just going to parties and just a single fist bump the whole time. That's what this is. Oh, okay. 189,000 minutes. You got ISOXO, you got Jules, you got Zed, you got Just a Gem. But number 1, Lily Pichu. Oh, okay. So wow. I knew Lily Pichu did some music. How much music does she do? Like, is this crazy? Like, is this so crazy that you've got 189,000 minutes and Lily Pichu's number 1? I felt like she has like a few songs. I could be wrong. But that's crazy. Are you like a Lily Pichu mod or something? Like, that is, everything is so like normal until number 1. And not that it's a bad thing, but dang. Okay, Dyadic, Virtual Riot, Splitter, Beast Boy, Chime, You have only headphones in 24/7. That's what this rap is telling me about you? Because this is music that is not at all that friendly to play for family or friends or out in public or hanging out in like a living room kind of setting. This is you have headphones in all the time, and you don't know, your family doesn't really know what you listen to because you try to show them a couple and it just didn't work out, which I've been there. Okay, Tokyo Machine, Bad Computer, Fool, Boss Fight, AU5. But all of these songs here are like non-Monster Cat songs. The top songs are like these little more niche ones. So this has me believe this is someone that was such a huge Monster Cat fan for so long and is slowly coming off the hill. Like you're coming down and you're like, oh, there is a wide variety of music out there more than just Monster Cat. And again, I did this too. There was a time where it was like probably 2 years straight of just Monster Cat to listen to. And you're now coming off the end of that and you're like, oh, there is other stuff out there that's not just Monster Cat. That's great. And I will say, keep listening. There's so much more. We can listen to Monster Cat, all of Monster Cat, and more. And I would encourage you to go more. This one I wanted to highlight purely because Grizz at number 1. I love that. I think Grizz is fantastic. But this is clearly Grizz is going on a hiatus soon, and he's in the middle of his hiatus, and it's just listening to his music and just being like, what we could have had and the days we could have had and just being sad. It's what I did with Daft Punk when they announced their retirement. I went through and did all of their stuff, and that's pretty much, I think you with Grizz here. You're like, I got to get all my Grizz in because who knows how long hiatuses go for. So I like the list and also a little sad for you. Okay, this one I have a couple questions. Excision, Virtual Riot, Space Laces, Skrillex, Olivers. Great artists. I think the order is a little weird, I will say. I think of all the terms, in terms of like quality of all these artists, I think like a Virtual Riot, Space Laces, Skrillex, like even Oliver's like clears Excision personally. Like I'm shocked that Excision's number 1 on this list. But I'm really actually curious that I think your number 1 and 2 songs are mixes, right? Like this is a Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm assuming, mix, or Guardians of the Round Table like mix, and then Never Say Die, Volume 3, like a mix. Like that's like an hour-long mix, isn't it? Like in 17,000 minutes, like how often are you just playing mixes? Like is this you found one that you really, or two, I guess, that you really, really liked, and that's all you listen to? But also like Never Say Die is not on the list of artists because I'm not actually sure how it works, but I'm just confused here. I don't really know a ton of people that listen to a ton of mixes like this constantly, and so I'd like to get to know you, honestly. Okay, Martin Garrix, John Summit, Swedish House Mafia, Fred again, Kygo. This is the most like European dude Spotify Wrapped I think I've heard. Like an EDM enjoyer that is in Europe and is a dude. This is that. Like this is that. This is the most popular artist from mainland Europe, and this is just right. Like this has to be. This is just Martin Garrix, Swedish House Mafia, John Summit, Fred again, like this is, and again, not a bad thing. But you very much know your niche and you know what you enjoy, and you're listening to it. Okay, you have 8,000 minutes, which also isn't a ton. Which again, not a bad thing. Could just be not a Spotify user. Could just not listen to a ton of music, but to have your number 1 song of 8,000 minutes be Poop and Fart. I don't even want to know whose song this is or what context. I just don't want to know. Oh, no is right. Oh, Illenium, Dabin, William Black, Kaiwachi, Seven Lions. You, my friend, are the reason that I'll say melodic dubstep doesn't change. Because there are people like you out there that are just listening to this stuff and absolutely eating it up. You guys love this melodic dubstep kind of rock fusion style of music, and there's nothing else. You get 100,000 minutes of just the same song again and again and again. This one, I really just have a question here. Bottom up, we've got Wave Dash, Porter Robinson, Maddie Zed, fantastic. Then the 1975, which an artist that I like really enjoy. My sister likes a lot more than I do, I should say. They haven't released an album in like 2 years. So in a year where Porter Robinson releases and Wave Dash releases and Zed releases, why are we going back 2+ years to listen to the 1975? Like I'm curious, did you just discover the 1975 this year and you're like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite band, like, group of all time? It has to be, because, like, why? Okay, 163,000 minutes, Fool, Ray Volpe, Boss Fight, Thirst, Sullivan King. You are the reason Monster Cat Uncaged went to 3 releases a week, and why it's succeeding in that. Because my goodness, you are and again, that's not a bad thing, but that is specifically. Sometimes I'm like, I wonder where Monster Cat like gets these analytics, or why labels get these or do these things. This is why. This person is why Monster Cat chose to give Uncaged 3 releases and Silken Instinct 1, because it works clearly. Okay, Must Die, Code Pandorum, Jost, Skrillex, Furlight. Like, this is just, I don't really enjoy pleasant sounds at all for the most part. This is I want my ears to be ripped off. I have tinnitus. I want to not hear for the rest of my life and play it on full volume max in my wired headphones, is what this rap is. And on the other side of things, 109,000 minutes, which, great, I love it. Mr. Bill, Bad Computer, Kill Something, Boss Fight, and Infected Mushroom. We have got just absolute computer sounds. That's pretty much what this is. And I would almost bet that this is Boss Fight's old chiptune stuff. There's a bit of chiptune in here, right? Like, there's a bit of old chiptune Boss Fight in here, not so much the older stuff, because these are artists that make it sound like you're plugging in things into a computer and touching wires together to make music. That is what all these artists, their vibe is.